Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Can you please increase the volume a bit? Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. So, yesterday we were seeing how this ego self is false. We were in the verse 293 actually. So we will chant it again, 293. Sarvatmana drishyamidam mrishaiva Naivahamarta kshanikatva dharshana Janamyaham sarvamiti pratitihi Kuto hamadehe kshanikasya siddhe. Here Sri Shankara is trying to explain Sarvatmana drishyamidam mrishayeva. By all means, whatever is seen, drishyam, idam, as this, mrishayeva, is false. Including that aham vritti, that I, feeling of I. Why? Na eva aham artaha, kshanikatva darshanat. That cannot be the real meaning of the I or the true self, because kshanikatva darshanat. It is seen only momentarily. Meaning, when the ahankara I rises, along with that, the experienced objects also rises. When the ahankara sort of merges back, that experience is over. So, kshanikatva darshanat. It is momentary. So therefore, this I which rises and falls, cannot be the true I, which is ever present, unbroken. So either the drishya padartha, the world which is seen, including the body, etc., and also the I, cannot be yourself, because kshanikatva darshanat. It is all momentary, fleeting. And then he asks a very important question. See, today morning when I was contemplating only, I could get the real essence of this idea. Janami aham sarvamiti pratitihi. See, there is a knowledge that I know. How it happens in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the buddhi vritti is enlivened by the chidabhasa, the reflected consciousness. And then I say I know. Right? So here he is asking, Janami aham sarvamiti. I know everything. This idea, kutaha ahamadehe kshanikasya siddhyet. How can it happen only when this ahankara I is there? Kutaha ahamadehe kshanikasya siddhyet. Because this ahankara I, the ahankara self itself is kshanika. How can it happen? Meaning, you know what? Meaning, when we are waking, there is a waker I. With the waking experience, the waker I goes. When we are dreaming, there is a dreamer I. He goes. In the deep sleep, the I or the ego self is unmanifest. It's not available for our perception, or it's not available. It is unmanifest, let us say. And not only that, when we are when we were a child, we had a I identified with the child body. And when we became a youth, we had an I identified with the youth body. Now old age identifies with the old body. Which I is my real I? But there is an experience that I lived my childhood and I went to school and then I grew up and then I joined this university and then I got married. All this we say I something. So we intuitively agree there is an I which is continuous. Even though the intermediate, this ahankara self, the ego self, when it comes and goes also, we somehow intuitively understand there is a continuity in our existence. Nobody thinks the person who has gone to school is somebody and now I am somebody. Nobody thinks that way. But the I is identified with the body only. Body is changing. The mind is changing every moment. Even the I also, kshanika, means what? It rises and falls with every experience. Though I say, I know, see how we are able to recollect. Please think about it. In dementia, what happens? The memory is lost. So they cannot even remember their name. They cannot remember anything. So when you say I know, it means you refer to your past and then you understand this thing as a mic because you have seen it before and somebody has told you this is a mic. So I know also is because of the continuity of the Atma, the self. Because the individual I rising and falling, this memory cannot happen because there should be something which should be continuous. So this is the idea expressed here. So throughout our life, even though our bodily shapes and this thing changes, stages of life, in different stages of life, even though even every day the Viveka dreamer, it rises and falls, the experiencer, the Viveka dreamer, but still there is a idea of continuity that I am something, one who has gone through all these experiences. That is the substratum, that I is the true I, but these I which come and go is not the true I. So even I know is not possible only when this I is there. Kshanika Vijnanavada means this I rises, goes, I rises, goes. If this I rises and say, I know this as a chair, how can it say? Because it has to refer to the past experiences and then only say. For the past experience to be stored, there should be the continuity, something there, illuminating everything. See? Otherwise it's not possible. This is all pratyabhijna by Dakshinamurti. In Dakshinamurti Sutram, Shankara calls it pratyabhijna. It has to be there continuously. Then only it is possible. So therefore what is said here is, this perceived self or the ego self is not me. Because intuitively I say, even though the ego self rises and falls, I say, I have been living throughout. See? So the self is something else. You understand? So the ego self alone, when it rises and falls, it's gone. And another self comes and goes, gone. For example, I tell you, the student A comes for the morning class and goes off. Student B comes for the late morning class, goes off. Student C comes for the evening class, goes off. But if a person is not coming for all the classes, he may not get the idea properly, because means something else is said, you understood and you are gone. Another person has come in between. He has missed the previous shlokas and he has gone. So there is no continuity. So he cannot understand anything in a proper way. There should be somebody who should be attending all the classes to know what is the essence of this Vivekachudamani. You understand what I am saying? You think about it. See, if somebody asks what is the essence of Viveka, he cannot be able to say, because he has attended only one class, morning class only he has attended. Late morning class, another person has attended. One who attended all the class only can have a clear picture of the total experience. So here it is said, this I also, which is rising and falling, is Shanika. So that is not the self, that is idea. Only by this self rising and falling, I know is not possible. There should be a continuous underlying I, which has been through waking, dream and deep sleep, registering all the experiences or illuminating all the experiences. What is that? From here? No, I don't think. Snooze for 10 minutes. Yeah, why are you doing this? You take it with you. So therefore, this perceived I, which rises and falls, cannot be the true self. That I which is underlying all throughout the three avasthas and all through the stages of life, that should be the real I. You understand how beautiful it is? Now moving on. This we have seen yesterday, but we have elaborated it today.
But this I is other than Atma.
Which I? No, that is the Atma, the self. That is the real self.
That is not affected by
That is not affected, but when it is there, only illuminating, only everything is possible. That continuity is possible. This memory is possible only when that underlying I is there. But it's not affected by anything. You understand? Aham padartha tvahamadi sakshi nityam sushuptvapi bhavadarshanaat sushuptavapi bhavadarshanaat brute hyajo nitya iti shruti swayam tat pratyaghatma sadasat vilakshanaha aham padharta tvahamadi sakshi nityam sushuptavapi bhavadharshanat 294 Brute hyajo nitya iti shruti swayam tat pratyaghatma sadasad vilakshanaha aham padartha tu, the real aham padartha, the real self, it is ahamadi sakshi. That is the sakshi of even this I which is rising and falling. This real self is actually the witness or which illumines even the rising and falling of this ego self, this experiencer, knower. So, this real self, he illuminates the rise and fall of this experiencer also, this ego self also. Why he is a real self? Because Nityam Sushupta Opi Bhavadarshanat. Sushupta Opi, even in the deep sleep, when this fellow, intermediate experiencer I, if he is not there, but still this real self, Bhavadarshanat, he is still remaining. How do you know? Because it's our own experience. Even though in the deep sleep, the person is not there, when you get up, you say, I slept very well. And you don't sleep as an engineer and get up as some sort of a Purohit. You don't. The continuity is always there. If the self is not there, anything can happen. You can sleep as somebody, get up as somebody else. No, it is not happening. So the continuity is there, the self is actually there. The jnanis, they very clearly, their experience is even in the deep sleep, the prajnanam, the true self, is not gone. When they enter into samadhi and stay for some time in samadhi, and the samadhi abhyas strengthen, it becomes firm, their experience is, even when the mind and buddhi is gone, means gone to a seed form, still aham is there. Since we have not gone into samadhi consciously, we go into sleep and we forget everything. Since they have experienced samadhi again and again, they know when the mind and intellect goes also, aham is there, the real self is there. So, this self, which is illumining all the experiencer, the ego cells, is available in the waking state also, illumining this rising and falling of this experiencer, in the dream also, in the sushupti also, even if the experiencer is not there or not available, unmanifest, still this bhava darshanat, this aham is there. The same logic is given by Bhagavan in Upadesa Undiyar also. He says, in the deep sleep state, when the I goes, the ego self goes, still the Purna Sat, the real self, remains. You don't see the absence of the real self, he says. He puts two negatives. You don't see the absence of the real self. You don't see the absence of the real self. Meaning what? Real self is always there. Therefore, this self is the Paramatma, Parama Purna Sat. This is the truth. Brute hi ajaha nitya iti shruti swayam. Shruti Mata, the Vedas, they say, Brute means they say, ajaha, unborn, nitya, eternal. Meaning what? Unborn means beginningless, endless means what? It is always there in all the three states. So the sushupti is very important avastha to be analyzed. In the sushupti, even though the experiencer is not there or not available, we will say that way, but still the pure self is there. Bhava darshanat, yes.
So for the real I, this first person singular and the second person and the third person are not different.
Not?
Are not different.
Defect.
Different.
Different. See, from the self standpoint, there is nothing. There is no I, you, he, she. From the self standpoint.
But he sees he knows the youth self, the adult self.
Means self knows means what? He is illumining everything.
Right.
He is there, like illumining everything.
It's like it's illumining this first person singular.
For him, everything is same. For him, that doesn't differentiate. He just illumines. Like the lamp illumines, the tragedy also, the comedy also, everything. The romance also, whatever is happening in the stage, he illumines. He has nothing. For him, everything is same. So, nitya sushupta api bhavada. He ajo nitya iti shruti swayam brute. The Shruti herself calls this self as eternal, meaning always present. Therefore, this is the real self. Tat pratyagatma, that is the pratyagatma in the heart which shines as I, the true self. Sad asad vilakshanaha, which is beyond the gross and the subtle. Gross world, what you see in the waking, and subtle world, what you see in the dream, it is beyond. And it is a pure consciousness. That is the true self. So, to establish that this ego self is not the true self, only that pure self which is illumining everything is a pure self, Shankara has taken this much of pains. Saying that this self which comes and goes also is kshanika, momentary. So, only because of his rising and going, the continuous experience is not possible. Only that should be underlying principle illuminating all the experiences. Then only everything is possible. This knowledge or the continuity is possible. And also in the Sushupti, even though this ego is not there, but still he is seen. So therefore he is always present. He is the true self, not the ego self. How beautifully explained, see? And then one more. Vikarinam sarva vikaravetta. Nityo nitya vikaro bhavitum samarhati. Manorata swapna sushuptishu sputam. Puna drashtamasattvametayoho. Vikarinam sarva vikaravetta. Nitya vikaro bhavitum samarhati. Manorata swapna sushuptishu sputam. Puna drashtamasattvametayoho. Vikarinam sarva vikara veta. Whatever is changing, vikarina means that which is changing. So he is the one sarva vikara veta, one illumining and knowing all the changes. Knowing means illumining all the changes. Sarva vikara veta. He is the one who knows all the changes. So that person who is illumining all the changes necessarily should be nitya avikaraha, should be changeless. Avikaraha bhavitum samarhati. He has to be changeless. See, this is a very scientific fact also. Only when there is a changeless reference, you can perceive change. Otherwise not. See, on that day our Acharya gave a beautiful example recently when I was in Rishikesh. Let us say you are seated in the flight, you are in the 30,000 feet above, and you say, let us say it is a very, very clear sky, not much of cloud at all, clear sky, let us say, and you are moving. When you look out through the window, you may not know whether you are moving or not. You may not know whether you are moving or not. Why? Because there is no reference. Only when there are clouds, then you feel you are moving. So, with reference to the changeless, only change can be perceived. So, this changes are perceived means there should be a changeless substratum illumining all these changes. So therefore the changeless substratum is the self. Apart from it, everything else is changing. How? That is what you see, experience in Manorata, Swapna, Sushuptishu, Sputam. It is clear if you analyze all these three experiences. Manorata, daydreaming. The waking he is calling as Manorata. And Swapna, Sushuptishu, Punaha, Drishtam, Asattvam. Again and again it is seen. These experiences in the dream and the waking are all false. Why you say that way? Because the dream experience is negated in the deep sleep. The deep sleep experience is negated in the waking. See? So therefore, they are not there in all the three states. But the self alone is there all the three states, observing or enlivening all the changes. So there should be a changeless substratum, changeless thing which should be there to perceive all the changes. Otherwise changes cannot be perceived. So therefore, if you see a change, then there should be a changeless entity which is illumining all the changes, without which it is not possible. Suppose, let us say, he is also changing. Changing means what? From one state to another state. If he is also changing, how do you know? How do you know? There must be somebody who should be illumining those changes. If you go on like that, there is no end to it. It's called as dosha. They say some dosha technically, they say, I forgot those technical terms. Ad infinitum, they say in English. It goes on like that, there is no end to it. So somewhere you have to say, a changeless substratum is there for all the changes. That is what we are saying, the self is changeless substratum for all the changes. See, when you say self changes, once again what you are saying, changing only you are talking about. So there should be somebody even knowing that changes. Na? So it is said, the changeless substratum is there for all the changes to be experienced. And all the other things are negated in one state or other. But this fellow, this self, is not negated in all three states of consciousness. Therefore, he has to be Satyam. He means the self has to be the Satyam. And other changing things should be unreal. Mrusha eva. Yes.
Is it something similar to Viveka Swami? That he Seva?
Yes, yes.
And finally come to the...
Yeah, you are right. We will see when it comes, Diktisha Viveka. Yeah, what you are saying is right. Because the senses are also seen by the mind. The mind's vikaras are known by the buddhi or whatever, aham. And aham's rising and falling also is experienced.
So vikara is not a dosha, it is change.
Change, vikara means change. Vikara means a modification.
Yeah, okay.
Vikara means it's modification. Change from one state to another, something like that. So all the vikaras are noticed or illumined by this changeless substratum. Except this, everything else is negated in one point of time or other. But this is never negated at any point of time. Therefore it is Satyam. This true self is a Satyam. Therefore, Ato Bhimanam Tyajamamsa Pinde Pindhabhimaninyapi buddhi kalpite Kalatrayabhadyam akanda bodham Jnatva swamatmanamupaihi shantim Ato bhimanam tyajamam sapindhe Pindhabhimaninyapi buddhi kalpite Kalatrayabhadyam akanda bodham Jnatva swamatmanamupaihi shantim. Ataha, therefore, mamsa pinde, in this mamsa pinda, the gross body, abhimanam tyaja, give up your identification with this mamsa pinda. Meaning, don't ever take this mamsa pinda to be yourself. It is not. It is in fact very, very unholy. Unholy means what we have seen, no? It is from the unholy thing of our parents made of, and also it is full of urine and feces, therefore it is unholy. Don't ever identify with this because you are very pure, infinite self. Pinda abhimaninyapi abhimanam tyaja. Who is a pinda abhimanin? The ego self. He identifies with the pinda and say, I am. So with him also you give up the abhimana, identification. Why? He is buddhi kalpite. Only when in the buddhi, if the Atma reflects, he is born. Otherwise not. So he is also because of the conditioning only. You understand? We have seen the conditioning. Vijnanamaya kosha. Buddhi kalpite. In the Vijnanamaya kosha, when the Atma reflects only, this I is born. Ahankari is born. Therefore, you give up your identification with this Ahankari also. Pinda Abhimani. Who is Pinda Abhimani? The I. He says this body is me. So with him also you give up the abhimana. And kalatraya abhadyam akanda bodham nyatva. Kalatraya abhadyam means what? In all three periods of time, whichever is not negated. Kalatraya abhadyam. What is not negated? Akanda bodham. That oneself, which is infinite, is not negated in three periods of time, in three avasthas. That jnatva, having known, swam atmanam, your own self, upaihi shantim, may you become totally peaceful. When you know the true self, which is Purnam, then you become totally quiet and peaceful. Why? There is no more desire to attain anything. So you become totally quiet, silent. And you don't take these worldly things to be real. So there is no even idea of improving the world. Because if you say it is not there, it is unreal. So therefore there is only the self, Purnam, and it is blissful. So you become totally quiet. Shantim upaihi. Only when you know the true self, and when the imagination of a world ceases, then you attain to the total peace. As long as you are identifying with the ego self, then there is desire, fear, wanting to prove something, always jagada. And you see somebody else, competitor like, so you want to compete. You have to pull the other person's leg. You have to trample on somebody else and want to come up. All these things are there only in the ego self, the platform of ego self. When you transcend that in your true self, there is nothing other than the self, and the self is Purnam. Because of Purnata, you don't want anything. Because there is nothing other than you, there is no confusion or there is no agitation whatsoever. That is a true peace. You attain to that state of true peace, Maunam, which cannot be disturbed. Because there is nothing to disturb the peace. So therefore, we have to give up the identification with the body, which is Mamsa Pinda, and also the one who is identifying with the Mamsa Pinda. That is the ego self. Both has to be given up. Then you come to your true self, which cannot be negated at all in any period of time. Can anybody negate their own presence? Then who is there to negate? You can negate somebody else's presence, but how can you negate your own presence? It is not possible to negate your own presence. So therefore it is always present, the true self. So Jnatva, having known this, Swam Atmanam, one's own self, then he attains to the total peace. Till then, he is pieces only. The mind is always, turbulent and agitated, confused. Tyajabhimanam kulagotra nama rupashrameshwad dashavashriteshu Lingasya dharma napi kartrudadi Tyaktva bhava kanda sukaswarupaha Sukaswarupaha Tyajabhimanam kulagotra nama रूपाश्रमेष्वाद्रशवास्त्रिशेषु श्रमेष्वाद्रशवाश्रितेषु लिंगस्य धर्मानपि कर्तृदादीन् त्यक्त्वा भवाखण्डसुखस्वरूपः त्यज अभिमानम कुल गोत्र नाम रूप ashrameshu. Give up all the abhimana for your kula. You know what? I am born in this kula. I am a Brahmana, you know. All this abhimanam, give up. It is said, very clearly said, see. Gotra, I belong to that lineage. I belong to that great Rishi Parampara. See, in a way, the belonging to something higher is wonderful than, having diffidence, no self-confidence and, thinking that I am Dina. But in the Brahma Swarupam, all this is negated. It should not lead to a superiority complex. So, Abhimanam with the Gotram, Nama Rupa, with the one particular name and form. Because you are the self of all Nama Rupa. So, one Nama Rupa is not you. Give up. Ashrameshu, different stages of life. I am a brahmachari or I am a grihasti, poor grihasti, what will I do? Swamiji, you people are sannyasis, for you it is easy. But we are poor grihastis, what we can do? No. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi clearly says, don't think you are a grihasti. Then you are blocking yourself. You are Atma, the self, you are the seeker. Or a sannyasi should never think he is a sannyasi. That is another ahankar. So don't identify with any of these ashrama. These are called ashramas, different ashramas, 4 ashramas. Because, why? Because Adra Shava Ashriteshu. Shava means what? Dead body. See, body is called as dead body here. Because by itself, it has no life. So all this identification comes only because of your identification with the dead body. Body. Filthy dead body. You identify with that and then you say, you know who I am? I am born in such and such kula and I belong to that gotra, Bharadwaja gotra, this gotra, that gotra. And these Brahmins have got this complex, And they have subcaste also. Very many subcaste. Nangala Vadamal. Vadamal means is something higher. Ningala Vivekachudamani, Nangala Vadamal. Nangala Vadamal. Kumbakonam Brahmana, Nangala Vadamal. All this abhimana to this shava. Why? It is born in such and such kula. That is why it is claiming that I belong to that kula, that gotra. You know what? Vanity. All vanity. Say you are from that lineage, na? Are you living according to that Rishi's, Rishi's principles? No. Epapar watching cinema, hearing to these cinema songs, and then roaming around, eating everywhere, and roaming around. What is this? And you say, I am Rishi Parampara. What is the Rishi Parampara? I belong to such and such. What? Are you at least living according to that dharma? Not much. So don't have all this abhimanam, which is because due to this shava, this filthy dead body, actually, don't have identification with all those things. See, once again, I caution you. In our traditional Sanatana system, there is a place for Varna Ashrama. See, the half-baked fellows will never understand what it is, but it is said clearly in Bhagavad Gita. Guna karma vibhagayoho. According to the guna and karma, if a person is very sattvic, he is doing such and such karma of teaching or thinking, then he is Brahmana, means what is categorized as Brahmana. You see all these things in the society. Even though you don't categorize the Western society, you see. So, therefore, it is there. Similar stages of life is there. The brahmachari's life, householder, is all there. But the thing is, you consciously identify with such and such thing, and when you take you are that, then you lose your true self. In the Vyavahara, yes, it is there, it should be respected or whatever, and not beyond that. that should not create Bedam in your mind, Taratamyam in your mind. I am superior, he is inferior. No. It is all there in the nature. That's all. See, these 4 Varnas at least, understandable, it is said in our Vedas or in the Gita and all. But then the Jati, so much of caste system, I don't know from where it has come. Maybe, no, because, no, not even before that also. See, maybe because of the occupation, whatever occupation they were doing, accordingly the caste system has come. See, in a way, if it has been passed from the father to the son, the Kulat Tolil they say, the whatever occupation they are doing, that is good. In a way, he becomes very efficient, effective. But you know what happened? It becomes so, so much, what to say, without any logic or reasoning. And so much they fight with each other. And they consider themselves superior, inferior. And then, Chandala, don't even touch him, don't come near me. You cannot draw water from my well. You cannot walk without slippers. You cannot walk with slippers in my street. These things came later, I suppose. And hundreds of years before, the Brahmanas, they were having this knowledge with them and they were very powerful. So they were sort of going berserk and saying that no, this is the way it is, something like that. But later, after this, independence and all, so many changes. Now Brahmanas are subdued, but the higher Jati people are there. Among the other castes, the higher Jati, na idaku, na adaku, na gaundaraku, na devaraku, una kondu potruven. Appdi solli creamy layer, correct. So they really started oppressing. So like that it goes on. The oppression is there. Only it has shifted from the Brahmana to other caste. But the oppression is always there. When you go to rural area, it is very pronounced. In the what to say? In the Bangalore metropolitan, it is not that pronounced. But in rural, if you go, it's still there. My God, in the villages and all you go, you cannot survive there. You cannot survive there. That is why people say, Swamiji, I will come to the ashram, I will find a house somewhere in the village, I will stay there and come and go. I say, it's very difficult. Because you are not accepted as their own. You will be alienated. So, that is all there. But if you are really, truly true, beautiful inside, and if you don't discriminate, they also will understand slowly. But till that point of time, there will be some sort of this thing. So therefore, don't identify with all these things. It is not yourself. Heart of the heart, you are beyond all these petty things. That is why we should not identify with anything, not even with the language. Now, Marat Tamilan, what Tamilan? See, once Paramacharya said beautifully, what is language? To express whatever you are thinking to somebody else. If you are able to convey that, that is the language. Every language has got its own uniqueness, beauty, and every language may have its own little bit of flaws here and there. We don't know. But in the name of language, to fight and to claim that you are everything, all the other languages are useless. My language is supreme. See, your mother tongue, you have been born and brought up in that, so you feel proud about it. But don't say that other languages are very useless. And then this identity with the Inam. Inam means what? We are all Tamil people together, Telugu people, we are all Marathis, we are all Gujaratis. Like that, so much we divide ourselves. Yeah, that is all very, very nonsensical. See, especially when you go to other countries, it is very pronounced. Malayalis means they will all group together as Malayalis. And then the Telugu people, they are there in their own world, Telugu people. So they have some sort of animosity between each other. They have a sort of opinion about the other people, especially these Gujarati people. They think somehow Tamilians are not good,
If you go north,
and if you go to Tamil Brahmin from Kumbakonam Ayyar, he will say, what nonsense, all these fellows are useless. We are the thing, they will say. If you go to Jaffna, Saiva Velalar, Nandanda Ellam, other fellows are rascals, useless. Am I right or wrong?
The original purpose of the classification from the caste system and the misuse has actually led to religion also suffering.
Definitely. Definitely, because the other religious people, they take this as a weapon to hit us. Weapon to hit us. See, they don't understand the whatever truth about it. Then but they also have so much of discrimination, racial and other discrimination. They have taken everybody, like from every country, from every race. That one thing is there, but there also discrimination is there. But in our society, it is so rigid.
They are a country of migrants.
That's what. That nobody belongs there actually. Like in Delhi, like our Delhi, New Delhi. They killed them. They destroyed them. Yeah.
Like in Australia, the Aborigines.
Yes. And they have only museum for Aborigines. Museum for Aborigines. But they say before starting any program, we respect Aborigines, they are the real sons of the soil, and all those nonsense they say. Like our New Delhi also, there is nobody who called as Delhiite. Everybody from UP or Haryana, here, there, everywhere, and Bihar, and from South India, Madrasis. All South Indians are called Madrasis. For us, whoever above, Tamil Nadu is called as North Indian. How can you call Mumbai person as North Indian? I don't understand really. Mumbai is in the west and Calcutta is in the east. How can you call them as North Indians? I really don't understand. I also was not aware of all those things. After traveling only you understand, my God, what are we doing? And always the South Indians have got some grudge against the North Indians. North Indians have got something. See, this is because of identification. So very rare people are above all these things. Like, I tell you, our Abdul Kalam ji, the former president, though he was born in the Islamic community, though he is a true Muslim, he knows his religion and even he prays, but she is above all those things. Then he becomes very noble, very gentle, noble, beautiful. Like that, our Hindus also, many great leaders were like that, beyond all these small little things. Samadarshina, but again warned, in the Vyavahara there are differences which has to be respected, but it should not be highlighted and so much, this different division should not be created. That is the idea. The Sattvic mind will not create divisions. The Tamasic and Rajasic mind only create divisions. Because it wants to divide and rule, want to control. See, that is the main idea, is to want to control. So therefore, we should never identify with all, because it's all belonging to the Shava. This Shava. See, that is why some Acharyas are very, very kator. Once when, somebody garlanded somebody, and that person was very happy. And once our Swami commented, see, he is like a dead body, and they have garlanded him, and he is so happy about it. Actually, they are garlanding the dead body. And why should he be so happy about it? Our Swamiji commented, and it's true also, because it put up the ego now. Somebody garlanding, And the North Indians, they come to our temples, South Indian temples. And these pujaris know there's trade secret they know. Apdiye they come, bring the roja mala, rose garland from the Ambal, and they put it on this shet. Shet means the North Indian, who is a businessman. They know what is what from their experience. And that person melts. Apdiye he takes some 2,000, 3,000 rupis. So somebody has offered rose garland to Ambal. Right? He must have bought with so much of money and he has offered. And this person is from nowhere. And this priest is in between. He wants to earn money. So he puts that rose mala into him and he gets the money. So 200 rupees rose mala has been sold for 3,000 rupees. Don't laugh. But Ambal accepts it because he is dedicatedly doing service to Ambal. So I tell you one more thing. If I am asked to do puja every day, morning and evening for 365 days, I will go and hang myself. I cannot do it every day, the same puja. And also he cannot go out anywhere. Every time he has to come back for the particular time. So they are dedicated actually. See, they are dedicated. And yes, their heart is also there. Ambad, they will be devoted also. But only thing is, they also want more and more money, like any other people. And all those things happen. But what I'm saying, we should not identify with any particular group, any particular thing. North India, South India, this, that. Then you cannot identify with everybody.
So they're just geographical identification.
Huh?
Geographical identification.
That should not be there. We should not identify with anything. Geography, what happens? We are all North Indians, they are South Indians. That happens. That should not happen. Yourself, you are substratum of all. Whole universe. What only this Pagudi I am? I am only Andhra person. Now it is divided. Now I am Telangana, you are Andhra. See, there also the division has happened. So Telugu people, only I will talk with Telugu people. See, this happens. Tamil people, only Tamil people. Tamil people, they don't. They fight with each other. See, this forming groups is very unhealthy, you know. We should mingle with everybody and be happy with everybody. See, this is not right actually. Not to do only blame politicians always. Where they have come from the society only they have come from, politicians. Yes, they create difference. I don't disagree with you. But they have come from society only, na? So, the idea is not to identify. Lingasya dharmanapi. Even with the dharma of the subtle body also don't identify. With what? Sukha dukkha, raga dvesha, don't identify. Kartrudhadin means what? The doership, enjoyership also don't identify. Tyaktva, giving up all these things. Bhava akanda sukha swarupaha. May you become that akanda sukha swarupaha. That blissful self where there is no sorrow, which is infinite. Akhanda means infinite, which is not divided into anything. So may you become Sukha Swarupa. So giving up all the identification, you become the Sukha Swarupa. See, now comes this dilemma. You are this kind of a Mahatma, let us say, but you are a Grihastha. Let us say, Chuma, let us say, you are a Grihastha. You are having a family. You are having a daughter, son. Sort of young daughter you are having, let us say. If you are a Mahatma, you see everybody as the same and you don't discriminate. But a fellow who is drunkard, who is a useless fellow, he goes behind your daughter always, troubles her. What will you do? No, he is the self. I am the self of all. So, pavam, what senjitu pottu? You cannot. And it is not your dharma also to do that. There you are taking up a role. Only for that moment you have to take up the role. Because you are given this role, assigned the role of a father, and this child is entrusted to you by God or whatever. So you have to play your role. There the question is not samadarshanaha, that rowdy is also God only. So let him do whatever he wants. No, see? That is where we should not misunderstand. And when it comes to even our culture, at that point our role is what? We have to safeguard, we have to protect our culture, we have to really, do certain things to sort of keep this culture going. When somebody attacks it, no, they are also pavam, same. We should not identify with this culture. We should not identify with anything. So let them loot, let them kill, let them rape, let them do whatever they want. We are sadhus. This is what Gandhiji did. See? His intentions were always right because he has studied Gita and other things. But when it came to this, he said, no, we should not do anything, we should accept it. I am asking him or whoever, if your own daughter is at stake, will you allow it? No. You should not do anything. Let him come and take away the daughter, kidnap, convert her, do whatever he wants, that is all fine. Will you ever do that? I don't think so. Nobody can do that. That is why Krishna said, Arjuna, you fight. You have to fight the battle because they are adharmic. You cannot accept it. So, that is why I am again telling you, some people are foolish, idiots of highest order. When this Brahma Jnana is given to them, then they become, no. That is also not right. And identifying with your own thing, you say all are useless. That is also not right. So it is a balance. Yeah, heart of the heart, you should identify the self only. But at a particular moment, if a role has to be played by you, you have to play it properly. Then there comes a conflict, dilemma and all comes. We have to handle it properly, using our discretion, using our discriminative faculty. You understand? That is how we should be very, very buddhisali arkanu. Means intelligent we should be, and wise, to know what is what. You know, the youngsters may not understand these nuances. If this is taught, they will hold on to this, and then everything is all right. No. But if it is not taught, they hold on to all things. That is why Guruji's saying is so beautiful. If you don't stand up for something, you will fall for everything. If you don't stand up for something, you will fall for everything. If you don't stand up for the self, which you are, you will fall for everything nonsense. You enter with everything. So therefore, not to identify with any of these layers. That is supreme living. And bhava akanda sukha swarupa. Thus you become the akanda sukha swarupa. Or if you don't want to have such dilemma, go away to a cave, go away to a forest, retire. Don't take any responsibility, any commitment. Don't even think you are a Indian or Hindu or anything. Don't even take up any responsibility of a father or a brother or anything. Run away somewhere, go away. Then you can always abide here and not take up any roles. That is okay. That is sannyasis. If they really want to go away, that is also accepted. That is accepted. Okay. See, I don't want this kachada, not want to take any role and have conflict with the self and the role what we are playing. So I don't want. Okay. Run, go away. Get lost. Don't come here. Bhiksha, we will come and serve you. Or you eat the fruits and live. If you don't want to take up any responsibility, go away and eat whatever you get and you survive. And do whatever you want. But if you are in the society, yes, you are part of the society. See? So, I will be in the society, I want all recognition, applause, everything, but I am a sadhu, I am a sannyasi. I will see samadarshanaha, so anybody can come and do anything to me or my people, samadarshanaha. That is not the right stand actually. See, Gurudev condemns Ashoka like anything, you know. The Ashoka the Great. Okay. Gurudev condemns him. See, when you are a king, you have to protect your people. Then you cannot say, I am a monk, and you know, you power, everybody is dying, what will I do? Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Go away. Don't be the king then. I want to be the king also, and Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. That is why the Hindu culture has gone. Because everybody will loot you. Because if you say, I am now non-violent, I am not going to kill anybody, then you are not fit to be a king, leader, kshatriya. Then you shave your head and you go away. Don't be there. You give it to your son. See, this is what is a hypocrisy. Hypocrisy means not hypocrisy, misunderstanding. Being a king, you have to protect your people, your subject. If somebody comes, you have to stand against oppression. See? You say, I am a Buddhist monk, means you are not supposed to be here. I will be here as a Buddhist monk, and then I will be the king also. It will not happen. If you are a saint, go away to an ashram or wherever. If you are a politician, be in the political field and play your role properly. You have to safeguard your people. You cannot allow anybody to come and trample on anybody. How can you say, I am a politician, but I am a saint? So I will influence everybody, but I will not protect anybody. What is this nonsense?
Holier than thou.
See, this is all utter confusion. Because you know what? I am sorry to say, I will be very controversial. People will hate me for that. There is no proper guidance given. There is no proper Gurukula Vasa, not studying scripture properly. Chumma, you go and study somewhere in London, you get some degrees there, and you have studied somewhere in Bhagavad Gita here and there, your own self, and you imbibe certain things. I am not saying you are not imbibing, but you are not clear in your mind about anything. You are a confused lot, and you want to pose as if you are a saint. You are not. If you are a politician, be a politician. If you are a saint, go away. A saint can be an advisor to the politician. He should not do politics actually. I have gone somewhere, see, from Atma Bodham, from the Vivekachudamani.
Thank you, Swamiji. We appreciate it.
You appreciate, some people will criticize also.
In the name of states, in the name of...
Let it be. Later we will take.
In the name of states and in the name of languages, all Hindus are divided.
Because we identify too much with that now.
Unity in us.
Because we identify so much with our language, with our state.
So that's why Muslims and Christians, they ruled our country for 300 years, 400 years.
Yes.
Still they are dominating us.
Yes. Okay, now we will condemn the ego now. Santyan, instead of condemning somebody, we will condemn ourselves now. Ego means ourselves.
Yes.
Santyan ye pratibandha pumsaha. Wait. Santyan ye pratibandhaha. Pumsa samsara hetavo drishtaha. Tesham ekam moolam pratama. Vikaro bhavati ahankaraha. I don't know what meter it is. Anyway. Santi anye pratibandhaha. Santi means there are other obstacles to. Pratibandhaha means other obstacles to. Pumsaha samsara hetavaha, which will lead the person to the samsara. Samsara hetavaha. Among them, there are so many obstacles. Among them, tesham ekam moolam. There is one obstacle which is the root cause of all evils, all suffering. Pratama, what is that? That is a pratama vikaraha. That is the first modification. They say a first sin. In Christianity, they say a first sin. Like that, pratama vikaraha bhavati. What is that? Ahankaraha. So this ahankara is a first sin. You know, in Christianity, they talk about Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve in Tamil solluvaanga. Adam and Eve. So they were naked, they were roaming around. They were not having any bheda bhavana. You know, they were not having any bheda bhavana. That is a very important thing to note. So the Lord said, you can do anything, but that fruit please don't eat. That fruit please don't eat. Okay, they were not eating it actually. But one day, the Satan entered into their mind. Why I should not eat that fruit? What is there? I want to taste that also. So they ate the forbidden fruit. What happened? Suddenly, they started covering themselves up. And they thought, you are different, I am different. You are a man, I am a woman. You are different, I am different. And they ran away. And then they got all this idea of sex. And then that's how they say the humanity and all. But you know what? What is the first sin? Identification with the body. That is what happened. It created differences. You are different, I am different. So that is the first sin. See, eating the fruit and all is symbolic. But what is the first sin? Suddenly you develop a Bheda Bhavana. Because you are identifying with something else and you say, I am this, you are something else. See, all the time they were thinking we are one. Somehow. Then suddenly he started thinking, no, I am something different. You are different. Bheda Bhavana has come because of the identification with the individual bodies. There comes the samsara. So the first sin or the first vikara of ajnana is what? Identification. That is ahankaraha. That is why Bhagavan, he believes in taking the bull by its horn. See, that is Bhagavan. He believes in taking the bull by its horn, not by its tail, by its horn. So here rises the samsara with aham vritti. You just keep your mind there and nasipiched. You just nip it in the bud, destroy it. So no samsara. So don't allow the samsara to even rise in you. Just there only. Uditta idathil odungi iru. Then and there you destroy it. After allowing the samsara to sort of become a big banyan tree, then you go and cut branch, then it will not help much. See, when it has become a big full grown tree with the roots everywhere, then you go and cut, it will not help. When the seed is sprouting, when it's coming out, there you destroy it. See, that is what Bhagavan. So that is the first vikara, ahankar. See, that is why whatever Adi Shankara is saying, that is what Bhagavan is also talking about. See, it's not Bhagavan has come and then started giving something new. But he was emphasizing, insisting on certain things, right of, this is it, like, that is a new approach. But whatever, see, he talks about ahankara, Shankara says, the first modification of the ignorance is ahankara. Identification with the body, mind, whatever. That is aham vritti, ahankara. See, there are some people who will say fine differences between ahankara and aham vritti also. See, there are fine differences. Anybody can say anything. But Bhagavan doesn't make such big differences. You know, one more thing I want to tell you. If you want to be a sadhaka and realize the self, you need not worry about fine differences. Actually, whatever Bhagavan or Shankara says, you follow that, you will realize. But if you want to be a teacher, an acharya who is trying to teach, then you should be aware of all the fine differences. Because the students may have so many doubts. You have to explain and you have to clarify. But if you are only a sadhaka who is trying to realize, you don't need all this discussion, all these fine, hair-splitting arguments and the differences. You don't actually need to worry about it. Everything is taken care. But if your own mind puts all these questions, then Bhagavan's idea is, to whom this question you ask. Don't try to solve the question, you ask to whom this question? To me, who am I? See, if you take that approach, even there you do not know anything much. Ahankara is destroyed. When ahankara is destroyed, everything is clear, no doubts. But if you have to teach, then you have to sort of know the differences, everything you know. Otherwise, you cannot do justice to your job as a teacher. Yes?
Not to say any strongly, but doesn't that also create more and more thoughts?
Yes. See, that is what taking up this acharyaship or the teacherhood is a sort of a disturbance only. But you know what? It is a paravail, a sattvic one. Instead of involving in something else, involving in teaching, especially about the scriptures, you are thinking about it again and again. And you are contemplating. That is what mananam, it goes on. That is better. That is why Gurudev also said, okay, you cannot go on meditating for 24 hours. People are not that matured enough. So you do this. Selfless activity, service. The service is jnana only. See? Jnana seva. He has incorporated the jnana into the service. Yajna, jnana yajna. So therefore, this is okay, but at the absolute level, this also is a disturbance. Ashoka says clearly. This is also, even meditation is a disturbance, he says. Meditation is a disturbance, he says. If you are true self, pure self, why should you want to meditate on something else? Be yourself, full stop. That's how he says. So now, yes. So now the condemnation of ego means what? This is the first vikara, and this is the root cause of all our suffering, all the samsara. Therefore, this has to be given up. What has to be given up? The ahankara has to be given up. But how to give up? It cannot go away just like that. Like you are trying to bury your own shadow. Ahankara is nothing but your shadow only. How can you bury the shadow? How can you bury the shadow? No. You turn towards the sun, shadow will vanish. That is what it said. Turn towards the sun means what? The original, which is creating the shadow. Turn towards Atma, the self, the shadow is removed. That is what Bhagavan has said. You turn towards that, shadow is gone. You cannot bury the shadow. You can only turn towards the self, towards the sun. How beautiful. So that is what is said in this. So we will read the next one and stop. Huh? Yavat syat swasya sambandha ahankarena duratmana thavanna lesha matrapi muktil varta vilakshana. See how he is saying, see, yavat, till that point, syat swasya sambandha ahankarena, when you have something to do with ahankara, some association, sambandha with ahankara, duratmana. Duratmana means what? Which is the root cause of all evil. Tavan, till that point, na lesha matrapi mukti varta. There is not even a talk of mukti. You cannot even talk of mukti. Na lesha matrapi means what? Not an iota. Lesha matrapi mukti varta. There is not even you can talk about mukti. Why it is vilakshana? It's completely, totally different. Mukti is totally different. When you have some sambandha with the ahankara, till that point of time, moksha, the liberation is not for you. That is what he means. Lesha matra api mukti varta na. Even you cannot whisper about mukti, let us say that way. Why? It is something different. Vilakshana, there is something different. Mukti means the destruction of the ahankara. Mano nasha, vasanakshaya. This is called as liberation. You identify again and again with this ego self or this mamsa pinda, then mukti is not there. Bhukti is only there. Bhukti, enjoyment only is there, not the mukti. It is something very different. Mukti means something else it is. It is not this. So one has to give up what? Oneself. Oneself means one ego self. Whatever we consider ourselves to be and we are proud of, that has to be renounced. If I consider I am to be an acharya, teacher, I am a Vedanti, that has to be renounced. That is ego self. If I think as a sannyasi, that has to be given up. I belong to, the great Adi Shankara parampara, not ordinary. Hey, I don't belong to all this Tom, Dick and Harry. I belong to Adi Shankara. See, in a way it is good. It gives you some sort of a direction. But if you hold on to that ego, mukti na vilakshana. That is identification with something or other. So not to identify with anything. Not to identify that I am a human being. I am a man. Not to identify that I am a man. Are you a woman? No. Then what? Ali? No. Then what? None of this. Are you a human being? No. Are you a bird? No. See, some people I just saw, somehow they are very fond of dog. They want to become dog. Have you seen this? And you know what? It is not a joke. They start walking in the four legs and they sort of done some sort of a surgery and they put some clothes on and they bark and they walk like dog. I saw somewhere. Have you heard about it? Huh?
Japanese guy,
one guy, he wanted to become a dog. He was so much identified with the dog. He loves so much dogs. He wanted to become a dog. And after some time, he thought it is not a good way to live. So he wanted to come back. It was very difficult. So there are some crazy people are there. You know what? They want to marry themselves. What is the meaning of marrying yourself? I really don't know. Already you are married to yourself only, always.
children want to become birds from.
Oh, they can fly. That is a very beautiful way of thinking. I can just be Sudandarama, abdi I can fly. All those things beautiful, but not to get into anything is the issue here.
They say some
Fantasy.
you're telling these birds are rishis who are doing samagana in the morning, sunrise time.
Whatever you believe is true for you. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.